Hey guys, welcome back. It is your favorite Gimp of the Limp, and I'm here with a video. It's a little different, just me ranting about something I had become aware of. And this is what I do occasionally, right? If I see something that I disagree with, I can't help it. I gotta bitch. I gotta complain about it. Now, there's this fella I watch on YouTube, much bigger channel than I do, and way better at painting than I'll ever be. My hands shake way too much for me to ever be at this guy's caliber. But I've had a lot of videos where I've pointed out wrongdoings I think that Games Workshop GW does. And when it comes to this guy, they definitely did not handle this situation correctly. And I've been in similar situations, so I can kind of understand it, but I think they were way too heavy-handed, which has become just their freaking MO here recently, which is why I've been pushing every miniatures company besides them. Go to Manic, go to Warlord Games, go to all those. Get your minis from there. Don't go to Games Workshop because they're just going to rob you. So anyway, this guy, Miniac, right? I'll throw a picture on so you know who I'm talking about. Nice guy, nerdy guy, does painting, great painting. I'll throw up some pictures, some of the stuff he's done just in case you haven't seen it. Real good at what he does, right? Painting minis. He's been doing it for years. Well, Games Workshop had a big event, right? They had a big event and they flew out some of the content creators who were in their creator program, and they had them out to do interviews, to paint some minis that they had given them beforehand so they could bring them to the event. And this is just promotion for what does it cost them, right? What does it cost them? They're giving these pros, these guys who do kick ass. They could charge a fortune for these painted minis, and some of them do. Some of these minis can sell for $300-400 that are professionally painted, upwards of $1,000, just depending on how many you're getting painted, right? And all it costs them is they just have to give them the minis. Hey, you want to paint this for us? Sure, because these people love the hobby and they support Games Workshop even though they shouldn't. So they give him some minis, specifically one of the Primarchs to bring out, and he works till like 5 in the morning getting this stuff painted before he's to fly out. So he flies out, goes to the event. He's there with some other guys that I watch, a guy named Ninjon. He does great work as well. If you're ever interested in painting techniques, these couple of guys are great to watch for. They do really good work. But he made the same mistake that I've done before, and I know any YouTuber who's ever tried to film an event can make this mistake, and you get dumb-thumbed around with the different cameras and stuff that you're all dealing with, because you got to worry about lighting, you got to worry about sound, you got to worry about what camera you're using, and the different environments, all that crap, and it can become a little bit of a pain, right? So in the course of things, he ended up accidentally revealing some stuff that he was shown ahead of time that he shouldn't have, which I can understand as a honest mistake to make when you've got so many pieces of equipment and you're being told, well, you can show this, but you can't show this. And then it's a lot of Space Marines, right? I mean, this green Space Marine versus this blue one versus this red one, right? It's an easy mistake to make to accidentally show one that you're not supposed to show. Evidently, there was still 48 hours to go when he uploaded these pictures to his Instagram, and it was before those minis were supposed to actually be revealed. But they were similar to other ones that he'd already seen, stuff that he'd already painted, stuff that had already been up. These evidently just had different loadouts. It's not that big of a deal. But I can understand to an extent they need to protect their IP, right? So what ended up happening is his representative contacts him, lets him know, asks him to take down. He's apologetic. I'm so sorry, didn't realize that. Takes it down. They come get him at the event where he's having lunch, and they remove him from the event. They remove him from the content creator program entirely. So they basically fired him. And it was not like they were friggin' paying him anyway. I mean, he might have made some, but definitely not what he's worth. And they effectively erased him from the event, right? So here's the thing. The guy had done interviews. He had done paintings. He had done all this stuff for this event, helping to promote their products, their shit, not his shit, their shit. And they go into, we're going to pretend you don't exist. They didn't even feature the model that he had stayed up until 5 a.m. painting just to ensure that it would be done in time for their event. So they tried to erase him from existence. Hell, he couldn't even show the video he had recorded while he was there. They were saying he wasn't allowed to show that. And here's where it kind of gets to me is technically they don't own that content. It gets into a gray area. Because yes, he was technically under contract, but I'm not sure, and I'm not going to ask him. Hell, he doesn't know me anyway. But when it comes to some of this stuff, if he's under contract, it's a possibility that they might have the rights to his videos. But then again, maybe not. I would say probably not, because the way the laws work here, and I'm assuming they work very similar in the UK, that the creator, so whoever films it, this video is my video, right? So anything I'm doing here, this is me. If I take pictures, if I do whatever, if you take a picture, that's your picture. You have created that, so you own it. You can license it out or sell it to someone else if you want to. But they wouldn't even let this dude show the video, the innocent, innocuous video that he had recorded while he was there. So his flying from the middle of the United States out to the UK, traveling there, all that for nothing. None of his models were featured, kicked from the program, basically, fired. Didn't show his stuff, not allowed to show any of his video, and he had to beg to be allowed just to post a apology video about what happened, so the many people that watch him would understand why his channel was in kind of upheaval that it was, because a lot of people were saying he was going to be sued, he was going to be kicked off, he was going to be just destroyed over all this, which is just ridiculous. In my mind, the punishment did not meet the crime. They went out of their way to make an example of a guy who had spent more than 6 years promoting their product for nothing, right? They didn't pay him to do that. YouTubers don't get paid by these companies, right? I talked about this the other day when I was pissed off about the copyright bullshit I was dealing with. We make a little ad revenue on you, very, very little ad revenue on here, but most people get by on donations. That's the only way you really make a profit off of YouTube. And if you've got a smaller channel, you make nothing on it. So for them to do this to a guy who, as a passion project, had been promoting their stuff for so long and made an innocent mistake. He did not go out of his way to reveal something early. It was a mistake anyone could have made, right? Now, there's a difference between legal and moral. Were they legally right to do what they did? Yeah. Were they morally right to do what they did? No. Now, I understand upholding their IP, wholly support that. They have to defend it, because if they don't, then it sets a precedent that others can go after them. And there's so many Chinese reprinters and shit like that, although there would be less if GW didn't charge exorbitant friggin' prices for their models. Hey, look, here's one single miniature. We're going to charge you $50 for it. But they have to protect it so they can protect it elsewhere. I get that. But by forcing him to take down the images, they are already protecting it. I would have been fine with them, obviously, forcing him to take it down and kicking him from the event. Okay, we could stop there, and it could be, sorry, dude, we know it was a mistake, but you're going to have to bounce from this event. You did kind of, breach our protocols here. You showed preview material before it was supposed to be released. We're going to have to kick you out of this one. And I'm sure he would have understood. Kicking him from the content creator program on top of it, right? And then saying, now, and this is what I don't get. When they kicked him out of that program, he's effectively no longer under contract with him. So how in the hell do they have the balls to sit here and say that we're going to kick you from your contract, but we're also going to tell you still what you can and can't upload? Well, if he's not under contract with them, then they have no control over it. He still owns the rights then to all the video that he shot while he was there. There's no reason at all he can't upload it and show what he was a part of. They had friggin' interviews going on, right? Stuff like Whiskey Charlie, like I do with Mo and Kev and some of the other guys that come on. And they cut him from the interviews. They cut him from them. Are you serious? It was not malicious. And it's kind of like the Streisand effect, right? Them making such a huge deal of it, going so heavy-handed, is going to get more attention. Because if they had just kicked him from the event, I guarantee you I wouldn't have heard about it. But by them kicking him from the event and then beating the hell out of him afterwards, a lot more people have heard about it. Now there's a bunch of rumors going around, and all it's done is create a lot of bad will towards GW, which they already catch enough of anyway. I mean, there's plenty of decent people that work there. I'm not talking about the people that work there, but the dumb shits who are making the decisions. People like Miniac. He's a nice guy. He's a nice little nerdy guy who just paints minis. He's not hurting anyone. Yes, he made a mistake. Punish him for the mistake within the realms of good taste. Don't beat the hell out of the guy and try to destroy him. And really, in the grand scheme of things, it was just stuff that got released hours before it should have been released. And again, we're not talking about new models that people had never seen before or some wholly new faction, which I could understand them saying, nope, we don't believe that it was accidental. It was friggin' Space Marines. There's billions of them. And it was Space Marines who had a different loadout. So just different equipment than other Space Marines of the same color and type that he had seen and been able to post earlier. So, their own damn people could have made the same mistake. Like I said, all that does is create more and more bad blood and gets it to where smaller people down the line, they're getting that bad taste in their mouth. And the next YouTuber, the next Instagrammer, next whatever the hell else they come up with besides TikTok and all this other crap, the stuff that us grandpas don't know about, they're not going to be as interested in working with GW because they know that the very first time they screw up and make the smallest mistake, that GW is going to come down on them like a ton of bricks. And they'll do it to you no matter how loyal and supportive you've been to them. I guarantee you that Miniac has sold enough of their stuff to far outweigh whatever mistake that he made. The minor mistake of showing some equipment before it should have been seen is far outweighed by a guy who has spent more than 6 years showing their game painted to the best that it could be and getting people excited for it so they go out and get into the overly expensive hobby themselves. And like I said, I get it. I've had preview copies myself, games that I've been sent or stuff that I've been seeing. I've seen stuff. I've played games that were in the not even beta stage, but the alpha stage, like just crap components, but it's just the basics of the game laid out. And obviously I wasn't allowed to say a word about it. I get the secrecy behind that, and sometimes you in a certain position get to see stuff before it's officially released. Cool, great, that's one of the bonuses. But I would be wholly offended if I made the level of mistake this guy did, which in the grand scheme of things is not that big of a deal, and a company that I had been supporting for years went out of their way to destroy me for it. In fact, there's a company now that I no longer cover any of their stuff except for one designer, but that's because he's the good guy and I look out for him. But I don't cover any of their stuff because for some reason they just decided, screw Gimpy. And I was like, okay, well, if that's the way you want to go with it, cool, no problem. I won't cover your crap anymore. It's on you guys. You sell it now. All right, that's going to be it for me on this one. I can't say enough that I hate what they did to the guy. He deserves so much better. He'd been so loyal to him, and for them to treat him the way that they did, it's horrible. If you want ideas and painting techniques, is definitely a guy worth checking out. He does a lot of good work. And I know my little small channel talking up the big one doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I like to call out expertise when I see it. He does good at what he does, and he deserved better than he got. That's just sad. All right, but you guys stay tuned. I do have some more good stuff coming up for you. A few more prototypes, a few more review copies, and of course, the big one that I've been excited about, Enemy Action Kharkov, will be filmed here very, very soon as I can get that one into the old noggin. All right, you guys take care. I will see you in the next one.